So I have to have my Dragon's hat on.
Yeah. This is Joseph Cobbs again. I'm a candidate for Teach Now, and we're working on learning preferences, learning differences. This is Module 8, Unit 4, Activity 1, and we were co-teaching a class, really awesome lesson where we were using histological slides of different tissues and letting the kids collaboratively learn together. And Mr. Rick so awesomely helped me to put the kids in different groups with different abilities. Some have different levels of learning readiness, and some are much more emotionally and cognitively along than some of the other students. So we mixed the class up into different people with different learning needs together so that they could help to co-teach each other. And we started the whole thing off. It's a series that we've been doing for a week or two, and the kids had read it in the book. We've done PowerPoint presentations, animated videos, and now we're into learning it by them actually looking at the slides, getting their hands on it, kinesthetic learning and more visual learning for the English language learners. So he's going to critique the video that we made of that session.
So what did you leave me to say here? You
No, I just
laid it all out there.
No, I just was talking about what lesson it was and stuff. So.
Well, I mean, putting it all together, really, you had prepared them by talking in class with the PowerPoints and pictures from that, and they had done a homework, so they had time to absorb what a tissue is and the different types, and so they're now having a chance to actually see them under the microscope, which is a pretty advanced kind of a thing to do, to be able to not just the skill of looking through a microscope, but with 2 eyes and getting them focused, and they've now feel pretty comfortable with being able to do that on their own, finding that, and which is no small thing. Some of them are struggling, with one eye and squinting and all, and eye strain and all, but to actually get them where they're looking and seeing it clearly is a beautiful thing, and they respond. Some of the dyes that they use, are beautiful in themselves, so that doesn't hurt either. So it's just aesthetic, and having them draw it, goes obviously helps a lot to get that from somewhere in their head into their brain a little bit better. So you had everything going. You had on screen, so we could change that as we were looking at different things and point out to the students to look up on the screen and see, remember, this is what I
so you had
saw.
the .com, you had slides on the .com up there, so they could see what they were going to see in the microscope, so that's good, yeah.
And yeah, just to go, we've been talking cells for such a long time. What goes on in the processes inside cells, the structure of cells, and of course now to step up to a tissue level and then organ level, which is where we're going with systems, to light that up. So, I mean, you're working well with the students. You're making sure that they're thinking along with what they're looking at, and putting two and two together. So I think it was a very effective lesson in many ways. They're talking with each other. They're relaxed. They're comfortable. The pace is calm, and they're sharing slides. They're sharing things that they've seen with each other. Now, when you did this, as you said, you were watching the 4th or 5th take.
Yeah, I did a couple times, and I didn't have the recorder on, and the first take and second take actually went really well, and by the time we got to the 4th or 5th take, my blood sugar was low, my brain wasn't working, and the kids were getting almost bored by then because they've already been through
Yeah.
the same type of Socratic questions again.
They're kind of like nodding.
Yeah.
And sort of going
So unfortunately,
Yeah.
I didn't get, and with everything going on this week, I didn't get a chance to redo it again a sixth or seventh time. But I made a few different recordings trying to get it right, and I'm still have a long ways to go with my video recording. It's hard to hold the video recorder. I don't see what it's looking at. I cut the kid's head off. You can only see their body while they're talking. And,
It'd be nice to see faces a little more
yeah,
often.
so
That's
I have a
true.
lot of improvement in my video recording technique. I try to put it up and look down, but it always has a hard time with the audio because when it's too far away, the audio is not very clear. So it's better to actually carry it around with me and get it that way. I just have to make sure I'm pointing in the right direction. So I'm still working on a lot of the video recording
Camera
techniques.
technique and
Yeah.
recording technique, but
Yeah.
regardless, the class went very, very well, and then they all they kept up with their drawings. They knew the magnification on them. They
Yeah, different
they labeled them
magnifications.
correctly. They knew what they were looking at, which is huge, at this level to be able to get them feeling comfortable with that. So, yeah, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, and the kids also used 21st century skills. They took their cell phones and took pictures looking through the microscope, which is really difficult to get the camera in the right exact perfect spot to actually capture the photo. That's actually something they learned while they're doing the lab, and it's actually quite difficult. I tried to do it, and I had a hard time with it. So, but they had some great.
They figured that out. It's got to do with a cell phone. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, so the kids are really good with the cell phones, and it was a really good use of 21st century technology to help them because it's hard, if you've got 16, 17 kids and you only have 5, 6 microscopes, they can't all be staring at the microscope at the same time to do the drawings. So
Yeah.
it's a way to scaffold so everybody has plenty of time to look at the slides.
Mhm.
So it was a good use of some technology there.
Yep, I would say so. And it's so dear to them, their cell phones. So when you get them using those, that's like close to their heart. So I think we reached them. I think they were reached. Don't you?
Yeah, and it's great that we've been building on cells and cell physiology, and now we're actually studying the different tissues, and it's neat that they're actually seeing real tissues and the slides, real histological preparations of real tissues.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to look at it in a book, but to actually see a real slide of a real human tissue that they've made, that we've got those slides, it's different. I think it's great. It would be nice if we actually had real cadavers, but that's an expense our school can't afford. That's for medical schools.
That's your thing.
Yeah, but still, I think it's really great for the kids to able to see and get it into their understanding of it by many different forms of the information. Lectures, PowerPoints, animated videos, and then looking at real slides of real histological preparations of human tissue. So it's just another way to.
They were well prepared,
to
to see this,
understand.
and to make sense of it. Yeah, and to notice that there's more than one tissue on each slide. Even though it's labeled as such, just don't. Some of them, if we didn't intervene, they would be just drawing anything. So we were quick to notice that they were noticing what they were supposed to notice and drawing what they were supposed to draw. So that.
Yeah, the four different types of tissues, and then even in the different tissues, the different shapes. Like you have the squamosal. You want to go ahead and elaborate on that? So, and the cuboidal, and the
epithelial, simple or stratified, or they were doing great.
Yeah, so they were.
Well, if we pointed them in the right direction. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, this is something histology is. You can take that as a pre-med class in college, which I actually took. It's a great class, but to be able to see that there are several tissues, on one slide, I didn't move from one to the next. So sometimes they would only use one slide for 3 different drawings, And also we had them doing 2 different magnifications for some of the drawings, so they could see it, sort of an overview and then zoom in. So sometimes they get lost in the detail at high power, so back off and kind of see the object in a different way. And also, they can see the object with the light shining through it and kind of relate to the size more or less, and get kind of trying to again connect cells to what you can see, so make that connection. So to tissues and organs. It's a great job.
Yeah, and I also try to incorporate some real world learning. So I would ask them different questions about different tissues and because of their vascularity. The difference between muscles and bones, they heal very fast because they have direct blood supply. They're vascular connective tissue versus avascular connective tissue. And also we talked about a lot of different things like that with sacroiliac questions to try to stimulate their learning, not just learning the slide and knowing what that is, but how does that affect them in their daily lives. So try to incorporate some of that in there also.
Oh yeah, you're keeping right on top of that. So.
But I'm lucky I got a great mentor. He's very knowledgeable. He's got a PhD in biology and just a wealth of knowledge and been really excellent. I've been learning a lot from him, so he's a great mentor, so I'm lucky, which is great. Okay, thank you for your time. Sorry I had to come over on a Sunday morning, so we're both kind of dressed casually. He was at a baseball game. We just got back from the baseball game, so have to work and get this done when we can get it done. So thank you for your attention. See you next week. Bye.